Good evening, folks. It is your host, Jesse, aka ISEAL38 SuccessX, and today we're going to do something stupidly unremarkable. I hope I get some participants in here to make this a little less unremarkable, but on the surface you can't see what's actually going on right now, but trust me, we got plenty of things to do here. Minimal channel news at the moment. The Contura that I did most of the repair on, there's good news and there's bad news with it. The good news is the plastic welding that I did actually worked remarkably well. The bad news is that doesn't display anything anymore, at least not with the internal screen. I tried both screens. It's not, and you know, I shine a light to see if, okay, it's just a backlight inverter issue, but no, it could still be the inverter, but I even tried a different motherboard. That I had the same exact symptoms, although I can display on an external display, or the wonderful magical Walmart TV that's to the right of me here. So I know the computer's not dead, and there's more bad news with it, is I cannot for the life of me find the spare 325C, or I can't find it. On the screen, I found part of the top half. But yeah, we'll keep looking. We gotta clean some stuff down here, and hopefully it'll turn up. But regardless, tonight we're going to do something really unremarkable, but there is something to the madness that I'm about to do. And so let's get the other camera out here to give you an idea of what we all have. We have boxes as far as the bench could see. We have, this envelope is covering 3 of the items. This is going to be a very, well, it's still going to be an unremarkable unboxing, but there is something to the madness, I rest assure you. But we'll get into some of the items that we obviously know about that you can see. We have 2 things of thermal paste, just lightning deal. This is a VGA to MIDI display port. That's the stuff I got on Amazon. We'll just shove those to the side, and that's probably what got me in trouble in the first place. So now we are left with, you can barely see it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things on the desk. I'm not going to tell you what I spent on them at this time. I didn't spend much, but I'm not going to tell you at this moment, just because that would spoil half the fun of this video. And I must go get myself a cutting tool of some sort to get into these boxes. So I'm also making a Windows 10 ISO as we speak, but that's going on the second fastest computer in the house at the moment, which is not saying much, because the first fastest computer in this house, or the fastest computer in this house, is the one that I'm streaming from, which is starting to have some issues. So we have our 5 items. Let's go to town. Let's go with what I think is going to be the least remarkable of the unremarkables here. So we're going to cut this open. And we have, in this here box, I don't know how well you can tell on the old phone here, but we have some memory. DDR3. I'll set that on the bench. That the seller practically gave to me. That was pretty cool. The keyboard's not part of it. You knew about the keyboard. So on to, hello, Robert Butler. Glad to see you. This wasn't an envelope. So I'm just going to cut it open now. And we see here we have a processor, which I will reveal what processor that is later. But you should have an idea if you were paying attention, or were from the beginning, or here from the beginning, excuse me. This box is almost as light as a feather. This one's next. Very well packaged. Which, oddly enough, was mailed to the return address was my address on here. I used it. Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen you on here. I'm glad you were able to come. And I started doing the Fridays myself, just because life changed, and mostly for the better. But I figure on Friday nights I can go do that extra energy drink or that extra Mountain Dew or Sun Drop, and if I have to put things in overdrive. I might be. I think Athlon 64 going even. You could really say that goes back to the DDR1 days, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't follow the AMD side as much as I did the Intel, just mainly because of where I worked at for a number of years. Absolutely didn't give a rip about AMD, so I didn't bother with it. Well, we're going to give this seller an A+ on shipping. What we got in here? Oh, never mind. This has nothing to do. This is a Cisco console cable. That has literally nothing to do with it, so that needs to go in my bag of network goodies. So, okay, forget that that box existed. Or not. I'm not a cop, so get to the next box, which is packaged just as well as the last. And this is where it gets fun. Because one box is obviously bigger than the other, but you're going to be really surprised in what's in this box, or maybe you won't. I don't know. Just for reference here, I know you can't see the whole box, but this is a 10 by 10 by 10. I don't know what that's in freedom units. I don't know what that is on the metric side, but pretty big box, especially for the item that's in here. So we got some paper. We got a lot of bubble wrap. We got more bubble wrap. This is it. Not quite on the side of, I don't know if it was Dell or HP. Is like, oh, let's ship a CMOS battery on a pallet. One of those two did it. I don't remember who, but I did pay a premium for shipping on this, so I guess they at least honored what I paid for, I guess. Another piece of unremarkable hardware. DG70 G07700. Okay. This gets weird about a minute. Make sure to sent me the right thing here. We have workstation grade graphics. It is a FirePro W4100. I think it's a 2 gig model. And I don't know why G0070 is on that. We're just going to take that off because we kind of need to use this graphics card. You can hook up the 4 monitors on this bad boy. It is definitely a run-of-the-mill, low-profile card, but it will do for what I want to do with this setup here. And here it is, the final box. This is behind every successful YouTuber has one of these somewhere, whether they have it in a corner, whether they use it actively, or whether they use it as a backup unit. This is the Wannabe Gamer's choice of system, or at least a variant of it. You see these all over Amazon with RGB graphics, colors. I mostly do office work, so I don't really care about the fancy lights. But yeah, I do have in my surveillance system. I have the same exact card because I needed something low profile and cheap. That's an AMD Ryzen, but it did not come with onboard graphics, so I just picked up a FirePro 4100, like what you see there, and it's been good ever since. So, priority mail. You know what? Let's see if this does any better here. No, we'll keep on that one for a hot minute. Look at all this. I can use all these envelopes. Oh, nice. It comes with power cord. Honestly, I don't have that many of those around, so that's... I'm thankful they sent one. I don't think this is what I ordered, but I'm not going to send it back. I have to look at the eBay listing. That's just bubble wrap popping. Nothing to see or hear here, folks. Stay. One unremarkable Dell Optiplex 3020. I could have swore this was a 9020. Or was supposed to be a 9020. But for the price I paid for it and for what I want it for, I really don't care. Hold on, let me check my sale here. I'm curious. Purchases. I know you're going to see a guy look on phone. Oh, it is a 3020. Okay. Well, it'll still do the job, so that's okay. I think the 9020 has RAID capabilities. This one does not, but yes, every successful YouTuber has a Dell Optiplex of this era somewhere in their basement or studio or somewhere doing something. So, let's get her in. So I'm going to get this cover off right away. And there's a reason why I selected the 4 components, or 5. 4. I don't remember. The Cisco console cable kind of confused things here for a bit, but that's all right. So, at the end of this, excluding that cable, we have the computer, RAM, processor, and graphics card. We're trying not to set it on there. And there is a point to all those items. And I'll get right into it. There's actually 2 purposes. One, the USB ports on this computer I'm streaming on right now, they actually have, those are starting to go, so it might be a matter of time before I have to switch that out, and I don't really feel like spending more money on a computer. So that's where the backup unit is going to come in until I save something or get a motherboard for it. It's all it is a newer version of this. It's the Gen 4 version of that mini that I'm using right now, so nothing special, but there's a cheap PC challenge. That's the other reason. That's being sponsored or brought on by Tech Ambrosia. She streams most Saturdays at 5 p.m. Central Time. So in your case, Robert, I think that's 6. Mostly she's been messing with graphics cards lately, but that's just a little fun thing she does is, okay, let's come up with the cheap PC challenge, bunch of categories, and the idea is to keep stuff out of the landfills. And the 4 components were the computer, the graphics card, the RAM, and the processor. So this might be a fairly short stream depending on how things go, but let's get to installing. Oh yes, and then of course you have the thorough paste. That does not count towards the cost. Not going to go reveal what I spent at this time because that'll spoil the fun. That'll be revealed later in a scripted video, or in my case, as scripted as it gets. I'm not really a Dell guy, but you know the price was right, so that's why Dell. So how do we get this heatsink off? Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I think I got it. So plastic comes off, and okay, it's just a bunch of screws. This originally had a i3 processor of some sort, of an unknown i3, although I could probably guess it pretty quick if I really wanted to research it, but I'm going to be honest, I really don't, so. I think it was a little reckless to put this with open pins, but, well, Refurbishing companies, you gotta love them. Stay. So let's get right into it. So the processor that I'm using, originally was going to go with an i7 variant that was compatible with this machine, but I decided against that, mainly because of price. So now I wonder if I can actually, so this is an i5 4690 we're putting in here. This is peak office computer hardware that we're dealing with here. And I think my last job we had these, we had Dell 9010s with this processor in it, or a very similar one. I'm not sure, but they were considered the good computer back in the day when I first started. And this is not, I hope this is not going to be a very short stream, because I'm going to be very annoyed if it's going to be like that. Is that possible? It goes right there? Maybe? Yes, there we go. We're on. I have no idea how good this thermal paste is, but I know my options were kind of limited. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. It's got a little spudger thingy that you can spread it with. I'm not used to that. This is high-tech compared to what I'm used to with thermal grease. Okay, let's read the instructions, because this is exciting stuff. Remove old grease with included scraper. Well, that's already done, so step 1 is good. Clean the surface with the cleanser. It does include this grease cleaner wipe. I assume it's mostly alcohol-based. Not a bad idea to check the underside of this either, so let's do that. There actually is some underneath here, so we'll do the processor first. Not that we need to, but and I promise next week, provided that the stream doesn't get canceled for any particular reason, that we're going to be dealing with much more older equipment than this next week. Who knows, if all my USB ports go out on the Mini, then maybe this will be actually picking up the the load. And that's actually part of the competition, is actually using your old junk that you put together. That's a big component of it. Alright, anywho, so it has been a while since I did this. So we're going to probably do something stupid, but I know the thermal grease police are probably waiting for me right now, licking their chops, and okay, this is kind of a... It's shrink wrapped. Why are you shrink wrapped? That's not very nice. Actually, I'm not going to complain much about getting shrink wrapped. That's probably a freshness seal. Not a big deal. There we go. Now we got the cover off. That's what counts. So we're going to put a little bit on, and we'll see what it does. I've never had to do this before with the spudger, so this will be interesting. And we're getting it over the edge, and now that's a dangerous game. So I'll be honest, this is kind of an awkward angle for me, so maybe we can just do this and get some of this crap off the edge. One thing I can tell you with any semi-recent interactions, for the lack of a better term, with thermal paste is HPE, the server and networking side of Hewlett-Packard. They just give you a little syringe and they say have fun. And then your heat sink is supposed to do the rest. They don't give you one of those fancy spudger tools to apply your thermal paste with, or in this case, thermal grease. Let's put this down. Nice and tight. Fantastic. I will say one thing for Dell here, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big Dell person. I just never really got into them. there's kind of a sore spot with them because of their proprietary wireless stuff and hit or miss support. At least in my experience, the support's been very hit or miss, but is that they did use traditional metal for their heat sinks instead of that plastic stuff that Intel uses with their heat sinks. For office work, the default heatsink is good. Once you get it in there, it's fine, but usually you're not going in and replacing CPUs all that time. All right, cooler's ready. Stay. Next, we'll do the RAM. And this is, we're going to have 8 gigs of DDR3. Such a powerhouse we got going on here. Who knows, maybe once I'm done with it, I'll give it away or something to somebody who wants it. Or this only hardly had 1 stick of RAM in it, I'm going to guess, because that is like that. Did I do it dumb? Yes, I did do it dumb, so I tried to insert it backwards. All right, that is in. Do I want to? We'll do the hard drive next. That does not count towards the cost of the cheap PC challenge. And I just got this little unit here. It's 120 gigs. Nothing crazy, nothing, no bells or whistles here. We don't need bells or whistles in this case. They did not leave us the caddy, but frankly, I don't care. If I really want to professionalize this, then I could probably go find the caddy for it. It won't count towards the cost of the cheap PC challenge. It'll, however, still count towards the cost of making my wallet a little lighter, so... And this is an SSD, so I am going to just not worry about it. Those 120 gig, 160 gig drives are not good for much. Or they're, yeah, most people will outgrow them very quickly. But for streaming, I think it'll be fine. If I got to put more storage in here, I'll figure that out. It just said you have to use the computer. It didn't say exactly and how it had to be used. Maybe able to write some documentation on it too. Who knows? But now, something I did not check, but I'm not crazy about it because the fan circulation is going to be poor AF in this little thing. But let's get that out of there. Oh, it's in there. Good. Good for you, Dell. All right. Oh, yeah. I'm glad the keyboard is now cleaned. And speaking of keyboards, I have a problem. I need to get a keyboard. Or can I borrow the one from this streaming machine? Hey, you understand the spirit of the cheap PC challenge. At least that's, I would think, would be a qualifier for it. Okay, hold on. I gotta go get the USB drive out and hope that this is correctly formatted. And pardon my reach here, I am going to borrow the dongle from my streaming PC over to this guy here. And there is a rule that every computer builder knows, or most of them that do anyway, is that you never put the cover back on before you actually turn the unit on. We may have a very short live stream here, so shall see. And let's, I got the VGA daily working. However, this natively came with Windows 7. So, yes, let me think here. The 9010 and 9020 came, you could put anywhere from XP to 10 on them, and it would run just fine. But I believe this 3020 natively came with Windows 7. And that was, at the last place, that was kind of a disaster. It was oh, this piece of software needs XP. This piece of software needs 7. We're not going to budge. Uh-oh, did I get the wrong adapter? Yeah, this may be a short stream after all. Because that adapter is not fitting. It certainly looks right. Yeah, and yeah, they didn't hear about virtualization, and I didn't have time to set that up, and I don't even know if it was my place back then, but that's all. That's in the past now anyway, so I really aren't bothered by it. Well, damn, this... Yeah, well, while I'm figuring this out with this graphics card, tell you the little story we had with the piece of software that needed 7. If you remember that Windows XP mode software that Microsoft gave away for a while there, that's a big piece to it. So what I was tasked with doing, or really everybody was, but in reality it was just me because I'm the only one that really knew about it, was, okay, you've got to install this XP mode software so they can run the old software, and on a spinning hardware, and the manager at the time says you must absolutely have antivirus on that XP in addition to the XP install itself. And that's where things really started to be miserable for the, particularly the finance team. They did not like me. But it was not my decision. But at least they quickly understood, and they, the good news for me, the one of the redeeming things for me was, oh, so these two people were standing around, but this guy was running around just upgrading stuff and going around making sure it worked as good as it could. So that was like month 2 into that job. So I'm kind of happy about that was at least noticed. And I adamantly pushed for SSDs, and I did not have that, win that award or win that battle of getting that, because that would have made things a lot easier, but I digress. We get a fan. Oh, let's see if this will work tonight. Pressing the power button. It's not complaining. No beeps. Not doing anything either. Oh, there we go. That's a good sign. That's a darn good sign. Awesome. It posts. Hot damn. So, alert, the amount of system memory has changed, which it probably did not have 8 gigs then, or 4. Maybe we have some bad RAM. So we are going to go to F2. Let's see what we can find. And on VGA thing, let's go. Perfect. So yes, it is a Dell 3020. Honestly, I hope not. Yes, and we do. And let's see here. We do have the 8 gigs of memory. We have our Intel i5. Let's see what the boot sequence is. Let's see. Oh, this is in legacy mode. That could present us a problem. Yeah, to be honest, the screen capturing unit probably scrambled things for a minute there, so that probably didn't help you. But yeah, everybody's got one of these optiplexes. Every successful YouTuber has one of these optiplexes, so I thought it was time to get one myself. Let's see, will it boot off the flash drive? That's going to be the question that's going to be on my mind here. I think it's new enough that UEFI should be an acceptable boot volume. Well, this is exciting. So exciting. And there is an OS on this hard drive, or is it going to the... Oh, it's going to the flash drive. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted out of this. And look at that cursor just die. So let's install now. I actually think I have a 990 down here too, but that's a little too old for what I want it for. So we're just going to go with Windows 10 Pro. And this is Windows 10 1903. That was the newest ISO I had of this, so that's what I use. So, but rather than download a shady ISO from somewhere, I'll just use a legitimate one and just let it upgrade. Not a big deal. So we're just going to delete all these partitions, and we're going to watch paint dry at this point. And this may be a fairly short stream. And I'm not sure, and I don't know if the screen capture is just a tad bit behind here, or what's exactly going on here, but I wish this thumb drive had a light on it to see if it was actually, like, doing something. The hard drive light's going. Oh, there we go. Excitement, she wrote. While we're doing that, I'm going to get some of these boxes out of here so I'm not really surrounded by close quarters here. There she blows. Well, I hope it doesn't blow. Although the fan is just a tad bit noisy on this unit, or one of the fans are, I'm going to guess it's a little graphics card. No, that's an unscientific idea. That's a bad idea. See if we can see any noticeable heat change. So 74 degrees Fahrenheit. Switch over here. I know this is... Yeah, Windows 10 and the world of 386. It's an interesting world we have here. Yeah, 85. Okay, that's not bad. And, okay, I was looking down on the screen weird. So I Love Scotch, welcome. And I rest assured, if you come back next week, there will be 386s involved in that stream. Alright, back to BGA. But yeah, this is a very unremarkable, run-of-the-mill. We're preparing an office PC for a couple reasons. The first, I am participating in a cheap PC challenge that is being brought to you by Tech Ambrosia. It's another YouTuber. She usually streams at 5 o'clock Central on Saturdays. And we got nothing now. I don't know if that's good or bad, but... And also, this may have to legitimately tide me over in case all the USB ports decide to die on my streaming PC. We'll see how that goes. It might go really bad. Uh-oh. I bumped the VGA cord and now we got nothing. I really don't want to bump it, so we'll see what happens here. Probably I should have left it blue. That probably would have been less bad. Yeah, this, yeah, Dell blue screen of death. Oh, yeah, exactly. But the hard drive is going. So it's not that much of a blue screen. I wonder, do I do this the old-fashioned way, or do I wait for this to do its thing? Or do I do this? That. Let me... no signal detected, probably because I'm using it right now. Oh, and we got full fans again, so maybe it's rebooting. One thing I don't have on this... Well, more like capture device stupidity. The one thing I don't have on this Dell, the little, the 1, 2, 3, 4, the diagnostic lights. At least I don't think I do. So check this thing out. Now that's annoying. I don't think this Dell has the lights on it. Okay. It looks like it's booting off the hard drive, so we're well underway here, I think. Awesome. Just don't bump the cable this time, Jess, and we'll be all cold free here. Now, this drove one of my former bosses absolutely crazy when we didn't put the covers back on upon the burn-in test, so I am going to do that right now. How do you like those colors? I love Scotch. It's back to what it's supposed to be. And, oh, no, I can't because I disconnected the keyboard from that machine. At the end of the stream, I'll put in the video for the cheap PC challenge. So, yeah, if you want to join on it too, you can. Or as anybody can, as long as you have access to that. And unless I have another wireless keyboard around here somewhere that I can just connect and do what I need to do with it, but good luck in this mess. Oh, there we go. We are restarting. And the fan is spinning up again. Capture cards are wonderful. Okay, we got nothing now. Are we supposed to have something? And try rebooting this again. That's kind of weird. Maybe you should just bite the bullet and get another motherboard for the Mini. Oh, we're booting from the hard drive now. There we go. And we're not connected to the internet at the moment with this Dell. I'm not going to yet. And will be a wired connection. Because my access point absolutely does not agree with the streaming. And I rest assure you, this is an SSD I have in here. I couldn't imagine this being with a spitting rust, as some people like to call it, or the original 250 or 160, 160 gig Seagates that these typically came with. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yes. I'm in the United States, so that's correct. We're going to skip another keyboard. I do not have internet on this machine just yet, and we're going to continue with limited setup. I'm not going to put a Microsoft account on here. Super duper secure, folks. Only the best in this channel. We don't need device history. Sure, why not? I don't care about any of that. And fortunately, this almost never takes several minutes on this generation of Dell. Once we get these drivers installed, I think we'll be home free here. Let me find. Hold on, very important. Also very important, I'm going to put this charger away that you can't see. That is for my spot welder. If I lose that, then I'm SOL on finding. I think it was from a fly-by-night Chinesium company, and ooh, USB. Its extension got stepped on. We found two problems that I'm going to solve after the stream. Oh, there's the Ethernet cable. We really need to clean down here. Oh, I think the sound is working. Oh, what is this? That should not be here. Yeah, so this ISO is old enough to have the old edge on it. Oh, whoops. I tried clicking on it with my other mouse. Whoopsie daisy. Yeah, look at that. There's some nostalgia. Something that Microsoft immediately cut the cord on. Now we're connected. Now we're cooking. I don't need old Edge, or do I? I think I do. But we'll do all this exciting stuff that everybody does when they have a computer that they set up out of the box. Central Time is where it's at. Let's see if we need to... Ooh, that's a good thing to test. Yeah, there's a few drivers that it needs, but maybe Windows updates will pick up some of them. And ooh, we need to go get some drivers. Oh, that's too bad. We're going to go to AMD. Well, the website loads terribly. Oh my, yeah, it's basically like Internet Explorer. Let's see, New Edge. No, we're not shopping for that kind of Edge. I kind of want to keep this to an absolute bare minimum. I'm stuck with Edge no matter what, so we might as well embrace it. Oh, wait a minute, found the graphics card. Indeed it did. I'm still going to get the right one, though. No, I just want to download Edge. You're going to make me get Chrome. That's not going to be very funny here, guys. Let's see. Oh, everything's a marketing scam with these people. There we go. Let's close all that out. And the speaker works. That's good. And we're going to compete for bandwidth. Woohoo! Just what the doctor ordered, am I right? Edge is installing. And okay, found something. That's good. Now will it get rid of the other Edge? That's the question that's on everybody's mind. Maybe it's on nobody's mind. No, it didn't. Okay, now I'm continue without this data. You know, Microsoft actually does make one of these bare-bone versions of Windows. It's called LTSC, for those that didn't know. And oh, it found all the drivers. Okay, cool. Back to my thoughts. So yeah, if you get Windows 10 LTSC, especially if you have an enterprise agreement, you can have access to that, and you'll have yourself... Oh, this has both edges on it. That's intriguing. We're going to use New Edge. But yeah, with Windows 10 LTSC, you don't have the store. It's basically Microsoft's server looking, but it's really good for kiosks and for something that does like one or two functions. I wish it was more widely available, and that it's also the support on it's forever. So that'll be interesting how Microsoft does it, because we all know Windows 10 end support, at least most of them end in October of next year, I want to say. And I know it's sometime in 2025. But LT, the long-term servicing branch variants of it, do not. For example, server 2016 and LTSB is somewhere in 2026. LTSC 1809 is in 2029 sometime, I believe. And then the LTSC 2021 is 2031. And then it'll be an LTSC 2025, which will be based off of Windows 11, which will be good until 2035 if Microsoft doesn't change their mind about things. Let me see, once I get the keyboard connected, I'll see if I can find the licensing for it. Although you technically don't have to activate it, so if you could run it with that stupid hologram on there if you really wanted to. Oh snap. Well, let's get... We're going to stop Windows Update for a minute here. Do you not like the restarts? Is that the problem? You don't like the restarts. The capture device doesn't anyway, I'm sure. Oh, come on. They didn't say anything about a super functional Dell Optiplex. It just needs the Dell Optiplex in order to be a successful YouTuber. And we're loading. Fun, fun. Did it get rid of the old Edge? I see the icon for the old one. That's weird. Whatever. I am not going to get hung up on little details. Nor am I going to make you sit through a Windows update, because I'm sure it's going to be multiple ones. No shenanigans now. You can't possibly have a Windows update that quick, can you? Oh, yeah, that's an option too. Just use the KMS. Don't know if it covers LTSC, but I'm sure it does. That's what I did. Weird. AMD download driver. What are additional options here? Full install. Well, let me install it. Weird. Go to AMD. That's literally where I got the driver from. Ah, what a pain. What Edge is this? That's the next question. Oh, that's old Edge. I don't want that. I don't know how that's still technically a thing here, but try that one instead. I'm probably overthinking this at this point, but Thankfully, I have halfway decent internet. It's probably not by today's standards, but not a big deal. Downside is I'm like doing a screen share within a screen share thing here, so it's kind of small. The text is, and you're probably seeing the same problem. Okay, so we got the 2020 edition, allegedly. So let's install. Well, good thing they didn't say storage speed was a big deal of this, because I would absolutely fall in last place right here. My goodness. After this, I'm really going to be on I Love Scotch's side with this don't need the bloatware spyware thing. Unless there's something else going on in the background. That's a possibility, too. Oh, what is this? Oh, my goodness gracious. That is no good. You know what? I think at this point we'll just leave it up to Windows Update to do what it needs to do here. It seems like it's not happy with that driver. I'm not that bothered by it at this point. If it installed it, great. Just curious, before I go offline here, let's just see what it will pull up here for, if it'll go right to, I think 22H2 is the last patch that Windows 10 had of the major patches. I'm a network admin these days, so I don't pay close attention to these things. That's the wonderful thing about having a big team is specialization. Oh, yeah, Windows 10 22H2. Excellent. So we're going to let this thing do its thing. I'm going to take the keyboard off of this. And let's see here. Oh, I was going to find that for you guys. Let's see. There's an evaluation center. Yeah, they really try to hide this on you. It's kind of annoying. And I'm trying to find a legitimate software company over it. I think IoT is basically the same thing as well. Oh my goodness, they're really expensive. Software unlocker. Oh, woof. There's so much woof here. Well, that's information on Windows 10, or the Windows 10 LTSC anyways. If I find the ISO and somebody really wants it, I can get it to you. I'm sure I gotta find a hard drive that has it, but I rest assure you, I do have at least the 1809 version of it. Okay, where is the link cheap PC? The other thing I'm trying to find here is the... Oh, here we go. Let's see if I can just copy the link. I can. Nice. And this second link is the Cheap PC Challenge. That's the video to all the rules and all the fun stuff that Tech Ambrosia has set up. Just a little fun thing if you want to get involved with it. And since all of you have YouTube, at least some YouTube presence, imagine all of you are eligible for that. But now, I'm going to do something foolish here. I'm going to take my focus off of this. Let's see here. So yes, this is our wonderful little Dell Optiplex 3020. I know I keep calling it a 9020, but wow. We're seeing plenty of them, right? One thing I did not test on here, and I may not be able... Ooh, yes I can. The DVD writer. Let's see if it can at least read a DVD. And oddly enough for Robert here, this is a Vista disc. It's for a HP 2000 DV2000 recovery disc, but it is Vista. It is a burned disc. Made on live stream number 2, oddly enough. Oh, I have no keyboard on here. I don't need a keyboard anymore. At least not for the streaming PC. For this stream. Oh, look at that. We have a DVD writer that actually works. And one of my big problems with these little Dells is almost every single one I've ever had to work on, these mini DVD writers or readers absolutely just didn't read anything. But that's reading. That's good enough for me. And comes to the end of another exciting stream. We're going to let this do its thing because we're kind of stuck here. Oh, let me see here if I can click on the webcam. So, yes, next week is kind of where we're at next. I'm going to get this set up. Whether it's going to be, if you don't see it behind the monitor here, then obviously my USB ports, or at least I have enough of them that are functional on the Mini. I like to keep that as Mini going as long as I can, as it is an 8th gen Intel versus 4th gen. Probably do a little bit better in the streaming department. So, but next week we have a Image Writer 2 stream, which is 1, doesn't work, and 2, we're going to try and get it to print with what it was originally aimed for, was the Mac PowerBook side. I have a PowerBook 165C that I'll try it on, and just for I Love Scotch, I will take out one of my compact LTE 386 or the Contour 386 and try to print with that, and then we'll try to go progressively modern, go to XP, which does have the driver installed. Then we'll go up to 10 and see how that works. And if I really hope it works on 10 or a modern OS, or that would be great because I can actually put it on a print server. And then I can actually do kind of what I was trying to do here with the battery business and use as much of the era-appropriate equipment as possible. So I know, like Joe's Computer Museum, he uses a LaserWriter 320 for his documentation. It'd be great. It's like, oh, we can use the Image Writer 2. Here you go. That'd be great. That would be a great goal to have. And God willing, I'll have to take a shovel to this downstairs here and oh, you can't see it, but the Contour 325C that's apart right now. I really hope I didn't throw out that inverter for it, because if I did, well, that might be sitting for a while. But once I get that working, then I'll put a scripted video up for that and anything else I can think of. So we will see you again, provided nothing weird happens, next Friday. And we'll be doing another stream with the Image Writer. That'll be on June 14th at 8:12 p.m. Central. I chose a weird time just as YouTube allowed me to. So, yeah, thank you for those that watched, and have a good one.